Hey guys, Wally and Noah here again with Korear Cast. This is going to be Journeying Through COVID South Korea edition.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Wah, wah, wah.
It is.
So with this video, we're just going to walk you guys from start to finish, stepping off of the plane in South Korea, the steps that we had to go through, and then making it to the apartment. That hopefully you guys know what it looks like because
there's a video. You can check it out. We'll put a link or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we will. So, without further ado, as soon as you step off of the plane, you have to. There's millions of signs. I'm talking. Like,
it's just aisles and aisles and aisles of the same really exact sign with the Korean flag all drawn on all artistically and a QR code. And it says, download this app, please, we're begging you.
Yeah, and the app is a self-quarantine app because it is mandatory for you to be self-quarantined. The app will ask you specifically the symptoms of COVID and if you have them, and then taking your temperature, which they do give you a thermometer.
They give you one thermometer for both of us, so
yeah,
we have to share. That's why I'm in his room, is that we have to share a thermometer. We don't
nasty.
have to share this bed, though, which is really convenient for me because I don't want to do that.
So
you might have dyspnea, and I might get it. Do you have dyspnea?
No.
Okay.
So once you download the app, and you will have to download it right there, they have a bunch of people that are there. They send you to the table right next to it, and you... actually, before that, you fill out a bunch of forms.
They give you 2 forms before we took off on our flight. They gave us 2 forms. Then whenever we landed, they gave us another form that was 2 sheets stapled together. And so you go to a table, you fill all of that out. We don't even think we used the first 2 ones that we got before we got on the plane. You take that sheet, and then you're going to go to this table that has a bunch of cell phones or a bunch of landline phones.
And with the forms, they basically just ask, and all of the forms ask this. So they ask you your name, the address, and where you're staying in Korea,
and a Korean phone number,
and you're gonna fill that out probably 5 or 6 times.
If you don't know where you live by the time you get off the plane, you will know it by the time you leave the airport. They are helping you out a lot. You're gonna have that memorized.
And then, so once you fill that out, and then you do the self-quarantine app. Then they send you to another table with a bunch of landlines, and they will call that Korean phone number to verify that you are who you say you are and that you are going where you are supposed to be going. And it is very important because that is the only way you're getting through.
So make sure your boss answers the phone, or whoever's there answers the phone, because they called our boss like 2 or 3 times because he was teaching a class.
Yes, and they will not let us through. So if whoever you're here to meet, they don't answer the phone, you don't get through until they answer. Now that brings us to, after that, you just walk quietly through customs and you grab your bags. If you're Noah.
Well, so I walked to the next table. I filled it out. I gave them my customs slip and everything. She smiled at me. I kept walking. And then I was walking down the escalator, and my friend, I sat next to this Canadian exchange student that was from Seoul. And I was like, hey man, how was it? And he made it through customs after me, which was really bizarre to me because I went through customs as an American. And I'm from Canada even, and I got through before he did. And so he showed me where like the carts were to go pick up my baggage and like put all my suitcases on a buggy. And he talked to me and like told me good luck in Korea and that he was glad to have met me. And I was like, oh, that's great, good luck, whatever you do, and I guess going to see your family. And so then I was just sitting there like, man, it's kind of weird to find the baggage because you have to look it up by your flight number, and it's like a specific baggage band. And I was like, man, did Wally get lost? I was like, Wally, where are you? I just texted him, and then he didn't text me back for a few minutes, and then I got a text message, and you were?
I was in the customs office they were questioning on whether I should be deported or not for the second time, guys. So what happened was my passport was taken 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago, and I've eaten a lot of food since then. And
I've cut a lot of hair since then.
Yes, my hair also looks different, and so I look different on my passport photo, and they were trying to make sure that I was who I said I am.
So they asked for another form of identification, which looks almost identical to your passport.
Yep. So that didn't help. Also, there was a huge language barrier, and they were...
You mean that you don't know Korean and they don't know English?
Correct. And it was not... I was getting very frustrated because I was basically the joke of the office at that time. There's 4 or 5 people behind this thing, and they were all laughing, looking at my photo, and then trying to look at me, and it was just very, very frustrating. I didn't know how I could help. I didn't know what they needed. They couldn't express to me what they needed. So
I didn't know that there was a problem. I was just sitting out there. Where is this guy?
It was very, very frustrating. So make sure your passport photo looks...
Yeah, it'll save me a lot of time and effort, or whoever you're traveling with, if you will get your passport up to date. But yeah, so he finally made it through, and I had all this stuff ready because I'm a good friend.
Yes.
And
now, after that, we realized that they will herd everyone.
Yeah, you get streamlined. You get streamlined quickly.
Yeah, so because of COVID, some bus routes have been taken out, train routes, and
if you come
things
from an
like
international flight, everything has been taken out.
Yeah.
They tell you to take the bus.
Yeah, and then they tell you, based upon where your destination is, what bus you have to take. So right now, there's multiple different stops.
Yeah, so make sure you bring money for a train fare, because we were prepared to pay like $25 or whatever for the bus, because our employer asked us to take the bus.
Correct.
And so it was about $25 to take the train like the way that we did. But we weren't expected to be herded onto this bus and go to a train station and then tell them what city we're in. And they're like, yes, it'll take you to Daejeon. And then we get on a train to go to Daejeon.
Yeah, it was a lot of stops because, like we said, everything's streamlined because of COVID. They
put us on isolated train cars. They made sure that we were only on this one specific bus. And then they had like tour buses, basically, that would take us to our individual location, which ours is in a very narrow alley, and the tour bus guy said he couldn't do that. So we had a bit of a complication because we can't speak Korean, and he didn't know how to express that to us.
Yes, as soon as we stepped off the train in Daejeon,
Problems.
we were led to more people in hazmat suits. And they again called our employer. They probably called our employer 4 or 5 times when we were there.
They're trying to contact our employer, who barely speaks Korean, and he was trying to get in contact with his wife, who handles all the Korean language and stuff.
Because again, they can't just drop you off and allow you to go on this tourist escapade while you're here.
They want you to visit the Domino's and the KFC and the McDonald's, because that's what they know you're truly going to do as American tourists. So
you have to have somebody there. So once all that was figured out, then we did get dropped off on our location. Sounds like that's where it ends. It's not.
So we got dropped off at our location. Our boss met us, and he immediately gets a call that says they need to be tested.
Correct.
And he was like, excuse me?
We were informed at the airport that we had 3 days to be tested. By the time we had done everything that, all the stops that we just talked about, and we got here, they called our boss again and said they need to be tested tomorrow. So we woke up the next morning.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock a.m.
After an 11-hour flight.
And we
go to this like it's literally a hospital, but they set up like tarps and tents and stuff outside, a big like awning over the whole thing. And there's a large group of like Korean people lining up to get tested, and we are not allowed anywhere near that.
Nope.
They come out to us specifically and say, stay where you are, stay in your car if you can.
Yep.
And then we wait there for our testing to be done. And the coolest part is like the whole thing's in a mist. They have like these fog machines or like these sprayers going with isopropyl alcohol, just disinfecting all of the air. I mean, you could almost get contact drunk out there.
It's pretty great to see. It's definitely something that you will not see in America. So it's definitely pretty cool to see.
And then, we got tested. They put one in my mouth and they put one in my left nostril. When I was in America, I got tested in my left nostril twice. So my right nostril is really lacking the love here. But I'm fine with that. I don't like being tested. Wally, however, got triple tested.
Yeah, I've been tested in both nostrils both times that I've been tested.
And also your throat in this one.
And also the throat in South Korea. We have not got our
they haven't given us any results or anything.
Yeah.
But whenever they do test you, when you get done, you get to stand out there like you're dancing in the rain. They tell you to just hold your hands out, and then they just spray you down.
Spray you down with alcohol.
Cool. Like I couldn't speak Korean, and they were probably frustrated with me, but I was loving it. I was like, "This is cool."
So, what else that they are supposed to do, which brings us to
they had mentioned to both our employer and us, but we can't speak Korean, so we weren't unsure. But they brought the other person that's here a box of soups and fruits, which sounds like a hobo's dream. But we would like to see what those fruits and soups are, just out of curiosity, and we would like to show those to you if they give them to us.
Yes, that will be our next video. But it has been 4 days, so we still haven't gotten anything.
We're not quite soupless and we're not quite fruitless, but the fruits are from our employer, and we will probably show you those if we get like closer 2 or 3 more days out, and still no soups, fruit.
So that will be our next video. It will be food related. How
to live in quarantine.
Yeah.
What foods you have
it will still be quarantine related. The more in-depth subjects will come later, but we can't do anything.
Yeah, we're going to try to take you
through
through the alien registration, all that stuff as we do it. Try to, so it's fresh and we know exactly what they're going to ask you. And then we'll get back to paperwork and other things that you might need from our past experience. When we get out of quarantine, we're able to set up more of an official setup for recording.
Yep. So without further ado, I'm going to have a snack. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you next video, which will be food related. Which is so great. I love food. Woo! Dried seaweed, guys.